Hi, and welcome back. I'm here to give you all the details about quiz number 2. That's going to be coming up on Thursday, November 5th. I'll give you a 24-hour window like I did before. And if you know you have conflicts, please let me know as soon as possible. So let's get right to it. The structure I've made is very, very similar to what you did on that first quiz here. So don't expect many surprises there. You will be given 5 definitions. And again, I'd rather have you put these in your own words. Copying and pasting doesn't really serve you well. It certainly doesn't help you master that material and incorporate it into your own writing and work. The first one's going to be the Enlightenment. And we've talked about that a ton already. And I've given you the 2 big points that I want you to get out of it. Isaac Newton's laws of physics. The universe is an orderly, predictable system, knowable through reason, and John Locke's writings. The power of the human mind to make rational and socially beneficial decisions, and that God works in reasonable, comprehensible ways. Second part, transcendentalism. This is the same definition that I gave you earlier. Once again, it is about individualism, intuition, subjective knowledge, skepticism regarding traditional religion or authority figures or even the scientific method. The sense of the divine and of God himself, herself, themselves being inside nature and humanity. Remember that phrase, web of God, which is so great. Neoclassicism, we've been talking about that since the Revolution, and even before the Revolution. Remember, it's a movement that goes back to classical Greece and classical Rome as far as visual arts, literature, architecture, philosophy are concerned. Elevated style, we talked a little bit about that. First, when we were reading Anne Bradstreet's poetry, she's got this very well-read vocabulary that uses a lot of Greek and Latin words. In a way, it's kind of a holdover from this neoclassical sense, even though Bradstreet is way before it. There was something very neoclassicist about some of her poetry, especially the poem to Queen Elizabeth. And you'll also see that elevated style in Phyllis Wheatley. 5, deism. Remember, this is a really important hallmark of the Enlightenment era. The idea that there is a God, but that this God created rules and then wound up the watch, if you remember that metaphor, and let it run. And it rejects the supernaturalism of some faiths, such as revelation, God revealing himself or herself to others, miracles, those kinds of things. And again, it goes back to those Lockean Enlightenment ideas of ethical and compassionate conduct as a way to be a good person and a way to do right by your fellow human beings and by God. That's pretty much it on the definition part. Going to the quiz, part 2, you're going to be doing quotation ID and commentary. You're going to get 5 out of 7 excerpts. And again, 14 points each on these. You're going to comment in at least 6 sentences on the literary, aesthetic, cultural, historical, and or political significance of the excerpt. I'll be looking for, at least 5 distinct and independent points to make about it. So there are lots of different ways to get to those points, and it's going to be about you creating that pathway. And one more thing I did want to say about it before I forgot, it will be on all the reading material from week 5, that means after the first quiz, up through the end of week 11, which is going to also be Edgar Allan Poe, which is coming up, also Margaret Fuller, really important 19th century American feminist, and Fanny Fern, who is also a really important feminist, but in a very different genre than Fuller. So that'll be a lot of fun for us to look at. If you got any questions, of course, give me an email, shoot me a reminder. Otherwise, I'll see you soon.